So, thank you so much, Krystal and Cynthia, for coming into my house and having some yummy, amazing coffee with me. To have some cheers. First of all, I know Cynthia always wants to start out with a prayer before we have any kind of conversation. So I really want to make sure that we abide by what God wants us to say. So Cynthia, let's go ahead and start this amazing real talk conversation and some coffee with a prayer.
Amen. First, giving honor to God, which is the head of my life, Lord. We thank you for this amazing day. We thank you for this amazing time, Father God. Father God, we ask that your presence be among us in this podcast, and we ask that everything that you say be a pleasing unto you. Thank you for the relationship. Thank you for the fellowship. Thank you for the honor that you've given us to be honest and bold and stand before you, Father God. And let this podcast touch each and every one of us out there so that we have a better understanding. Let us lean not to our own, but in all ways acknowledge you, Father God, and you will direct our path. In the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Because if I know I hadn't said it, you would have said it. So I invite I've been inviting tons of people over as my guests to my new podcast to kind of go into what my book is all about. And it is be the hero of your own life and rescue yourself. Mm-hmm. And I have met some pretty amazing heroes over my life, personally and professionally.
Yes.
I'm going to start getting emotional. Yes, okay. And you two are two of them.
Ditto
right here.
And I wanted to truly come in and have you in my home, have some coffee with you. And there's a reason why I gave you guys the cups that I gave you. These are my cups. Because this one, if you hadn't already noticed, this is Mama Bear. And that's exactly what her coffee mug is all day, every day.
I love it. And she sips.
As she sips. And this one, I have been trying to get her to understand how strong and beautiful she is since the moment I met her. And I'm finally starting to see that, which is a lot of fun.
The beautiful part is it's finally hitting you.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes. And then my typical boss lady mug. So I want to first of all have you two introduce yourself.
Sure.
Who you are in this world, and basically how we both met, or how all of us met. So we'll start out with Mama Bear over here.
My name is Cynthia Murphy, and good question when you ask, who am I? Or my pastor is actually teaching a series on how to identify ourselves. So I'm going to identify myself on the way he instructed us. I am a woman of God. I am definitely a servant to him. And so in that, I am learning to have strong relationships and develop strong relationships around in any format, whether it is a Christian woman, a not Christian woman, whether it's a black, whether it's a white. So it's all about the ships that we have, which is the relationship. So that's what's important. I met Kelly, I would say probably over 10 years ago. I was interviewing for another career move.
I love this stuff.
And it seems to be lots of career moves that I interview for, but actually walked in, met her. She was my manager at Ogle. Oh my God, we hit it off the very first interview. And truly, just because she was forward, she was honest, she was understanding, she was loving, and I really knew that we were going to develop a strong relationship outside of professional as well as personal. And because of that, we're here 10 years later. Unfortunately, we didn't get an opportunity to make a strong impact professionally at that particular company because of insecure women. And she left, and I left, trust me, very quickly after she did. I normally don't do good.
It wasn't very long.
Wasn't very long. And then had a beautiful opportunity to meet Krystal there as well. Yes. And we've, still stayed in contact. So that is one of the positive and beautiful things about making transitions in your life, is that God will lead you to make transitions of friends and people as well. So that's why we're here today.
Here we go.
Yes. Well, Man, it's just like a moment right now. I'm like, this has been 10 years in the making. Well, my name is Krystal Brown. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. That's how I identify often. Because I'm not a Texan,
She's
but
a Baltimore girl.
Yeah, exactly. But I've been living in a Texas world for 10 years.
We're kind of eating at you a little bit.
I think so. Because now I say fitting to. No. But no, it's been an amazing journey. Like I've told both of these young ladies, I came here on a faith walk, and not only to get to know who God is, but who I am in God. And so as the journey has been going, at 34, I can't believe I'm still able to say that I've just learned so much about who Krystal's becoming, who she is, what she can't handle, what she won't handle anymore. Even professionally, I've grown quite a bit, and that's where I met Kelly as well. It's been such a fun journey to meet both strong women, and instead of being intimidated, I was more so inspired of both Cynthia and Kelly. Me and Kelly, you were my director of admissions at Ogle at the time, and I don't know, it was something about how in which you welcomed me in, and it wasn't like you're too young, you won't understand. It was like, no, even though you're young, we're about to help you grow. And so you pushed me in ways that I didn't, expect. And so it's been beautiful ever since. And even with Cynthia too, being alongside me while we were all in this company together trying to figure it all out.
Right.
I feel like there was such encouragement. And so because of that, I can also say Krystal's become quite an encourager. I've learned a lot about just taking time out for others who may need you in times that they won't say, and just being there for them. And that's what you guys did for me. You were there for me when I didn't know anybody else.
Silent warriors.
Oh my goodness. And prayer warriors too. So, but it's been an incredible journey thus far, and that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I the reason why I invited these young ladies and my heroes into this podcast is because I feel like there is a lot of, I mean, I know I have a pumpkin in the middle of the table, but we might as well just put an elephant there, or the moose head, or whatever you want to call it in business. I really want to talk about diversity in the workplace, and how I feel that it's become just a checklist for organizations and companies to say, yep, check, done. We hired a minority and we're done. But what else have you done? How are you helping that person grow?
When you speak about diversity on the workplace, that is such a deeper statement than diversity. I believe that it starts back to the men and the women, because it doesn't even go into the diversity of the minorities and culture. It goes even deeper with men and women. So it's a bigger gap.
That's true.
It's deeper than what people really look at and people understand. It has gotten to the point that if you are a minority, there's many ways that you don't necessarily fit in, and it's because there's no black men at the table. One, there's no black women at the table, so they don't not only do the diversify, do they not understand what you bring to the table, they don't even understand who you are.
Right.
Who you are on paper is identifying who you are professionally. Right. It does not identify who you really are.
Right.
And so they don't have time to dig into who you really are. They're not going to make the allowances for that. They're not going to make the understanding for that. It's just not structured that way. The best we can do in diversify is at least have the respect level.
That's it.
And we don't even have the respect level because of where this country is and who unfortunately is leading this country. And because of who's leading this country, we don't get that. It has totally, in my career, in the last 30 years, it has changed in the last 10 years more so than it has in the first 20 years. Wow. And that is because America has changed. And that's because of how corporations are looking at people and looking at the bottom dollar. Yep. It's not about how you feel. I had a mentor in my life that was very close to me, and he set me down. He said, you have so much talent and you have this unnatural ability. What you must understand is that corporate America does not care about your feelings, and they do not care about your opinions. They only care about the bottom dollar. And the moment that we truly understand that and try to reverence that across then we still have problems. Yeah. So it doesn't matter which way you go. The diversity is missing for sure. Yeah. It's missing on the black man. It's missing on the black woman. And then it's missing on the core factor of who we are in these corporations, because we mean nothing to them.
People.
Wow. We need people.
People.
Just people.
Yeah, we forgot the human aspect of anybody.
You mean nothing to them.
No.
It's not about the people. It's not, and I tell people in the interview, I said, one of the things that's really important to me is the 3 Ps, people, process, and the performance. Yeah. They don't care about, but they don't care about that. I say that in the interview. Yep. It sounds good, but then once I get hired and really get in the trenches of it, that's not a subject at all.
No.
Truly not. So to have the diversity in corporate America and really be seen, I don't think that I am ever going to experience that in my lifetime. However, to have the diversity that start among us as women, I am praying that we somewhere have that. Yeah. Because then if we have that, then maybe we can build to the diversity in the corporate America. I think it starts at home. I think, unfortunately, the majority of the people that have started at home is that it's unfortunately that they've started with the entitlement process instead of just opening up and not even seeing color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just taking people among for who they are. Don't even look at religion. Let's not look at color. Let's not look at religion. Let's just see if we have anything in common first. As human beings, I think that's maybe where we need to start at. Not sure if that's going to ever take place. We're trying. We're going for hope. When you get someone like Kelly Fullman, who is a white woman, who's a Christian woman, who doesn't look at color, you really have to look at yourself and say that's a blessing from God. Absolutely. Because you're not going to get that
everywhere.
You're not going to get that everywhere. So you do have to take the fact that she doesn't look at color. She doesn't, and to have that as a boss, that is a bonus. Because you don't get that.
I'll never. It was just crazy. I would go home after work. And I was new to corporate America. Okay, so I was young. I was 25. I was young.
Baby.
And really, for real. And what Cynthia just said is true. For the first time in a long time, now I've worked in diverse places. It wasn't really corporate, but it was retail. Mm-hmm. And I've had bosses that were, of different color or what have you. But this was a different dynamic. I knew I was in an office setting, so I didn't know I wasn't sure to be myself. Can I be Krystal or do I need to be Krystal Brown? Do I need to? But when I tell you, Kelly let me keep myself and be real. Mm-hmm. And if I needed help with something, she was right there for me. But even outside of work, I had never met anyone that was, I say, genuine as a Caucasian person, as a white person. You weren't trying to get at me for something. There was no hidden agenda. And coming from Maryland to Texas, that was a huge deal because I wasn't sure who was being real, especially in Dallas. It was very pretentious when I moved here. So I was like, this is weird. Why?
It's the Southern Belle Nas.
It was Southern Belle. Are they just
speaking?
Right. You're just speaking to me because you have to, because you know you should. Right. So that's kind of what I was like, all right, is this Kelly girl for real? But when you would call and check on me, how's it going? I know you miss your parents. I know you miss your sisters. Are you okay? That I didn't see coming. And that is what changed the dynamic of what I didn't think I'd ever be exposed to. But being in corporate America as long as I have been now, and I'm still pretty young in the game, you're rare. And you're right, it's not happening everywhere. And it's not being embraced. I say it this way, it's a lot of intimidation going on out there. Coming into a position of leadership about 3 years ago, I was working with a young lady that did not want me there. It was very blatant. It was very clear she did not want me there. And I was like, well, maybe it's because I've outdone my numbers. And here I am thinking production. I was trying to be sweet about it. Okay, I get it. She's seen I done killed the game. Right, okay.
And
so
she's jealous.
She's just mad because I had a great class start or whatever. No, I had someone very close to me say, Krystal, it's very easy what's going on. Mm-hmm. You are an African American young lady who is smart, who is here on a mission. You're not here to play games.
Smart, beautiful, strong.
That's it. But I just didn't want to see that. And I've had a problem with that since I was a kid. I have Pollyanna syndrome. I really wanted the world to be perfect. We're all going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya all the time. And so...
Did that break your heart a little bit? Because I was the same way. When I moved from Beaumont, to Dallas. That's what I wanted. I wanted everybody to get along. I wanted to sing Kumbaya. I thought we was going to be friends with everybody. Everybody's going to be friends with me.
Yeah. That was going to be easy.
And it was going to be easy.
Yeah. Wow. And so maybe because I grew up in Chicago, I didn't want that at all. I didn't expect that at all. Right. I didn't look for that at all. So maybe that's coming from, maybe that's that Chi-Town thing. I didn't expect that, didn't look that one, looking forward, didn't expect, had no expectations for that. Now my expectations moving from Chicago to Texas was, let me get in here, do what I need to do, make my money, and let me climb the corporate ladder honestly.
Yes.
I'm not climbing the corporate ladder, by allowing you to disrespect me sexually.
Right.
I'm not climbing the corporate ladder by us doing any favors.
Sure. Right.
It's going to be on intelligence. It's going to be performance. Now, however, I did find that didn't work either. No. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. That's a whole different podcast that we need to to talk about.
We'll table that.
We'll parking lot that one over
there. We'll park that one lot over there for sure. But in the process of that was never my expectations. And I don't know if that's because of growing up in Chicago, growing up in a black city, or if that was my personality, or maybe that was all three. Maybe, looking back today to who I am, that's understanding all three. Because I have been blessed through God, because God gives us talents, and we don't know that they're talents when we're young, and He's cultivating and we're learning. He's given me the talent of discernment very young, and I didn't know that that's what it was at that point in time. But looking back over my life, and definitely where I am at this point in my life, it was truly being able, because I can walk in the room and discern the whole entire
the whole vibe right then.
The whole vibe. And that's the Holy Spirit. And I know that today, but didn't know that, 20 years ago. Definitely didn't understand it in corporate America. What I definitely do now. So it's interesting, Krystal, that you talk about, the kumbaya. I reached out to a coworker of mine who I worked with very, very briefly, and asked her some questions on why I have such a problem with leadership in corporate America. From her perspective. Now, I know why I have it, me being me, but from an outside person. From looking and she gave me, oh my God, some really, really good points, Kelly. Yeah. She said, your strength, the whole entire package, too bold, strong will, they want to cap and tap my talent. The fact that I'm very knowledgeable and intelligent about the background and the sales arena that I've been in. Yep. And I had to write these up. Too sharp, outspoken, my style.
Okay, and just FYI, this. So how? And this is why I ask people all the time. Yeah. I have so many friends that have so much style, and then they have breathed life to me. But this Cynthia,
I can't ever keep up with her.
I can't at all. Yeah. I mean, when she's walking in the park, she's got style.
She could be going to
she's got a
Walmart,
swag about her,
and she's still got swag. It's like. You're so cool.
She has a swag.
It's that Chi-Town.
But I do agree. It is, and you and I actually had a conversation about this too, is about how a lot of us Southern girls are raised to not have a voice, to not speak up, to be polite, even in a situation where you're not comfortable and you don't like it. Now, I wasn't raised that way. That's not how my mama was raised me. Right. But that's how a lot of Southern women are raised. And so when they come into contact with strong African American women that were told, you are going to have to fight.
You got to speak up.
You are going to have to speak up to take care of yourself. And those two personalities clash, and no one's open to listen and sit down, especially on my end, and not take it personally.
Right.
Because we do. I mean, it's unfortunate because that's the way we're raised. And so understanding the cultures that we're both from, doing your research, reading, asking questions, and
being bold enough to ask the question. That's the thing. See, I'll have that. You can tell there's a question pining there, but instead they sugarcoat. I've had that happen where they want to know about my culture, they want to know who I am, but they're too afraid to get close, because then that means they got to hold up the bargain. Oh, we're gonna be friends. That means I really got to go and hang out with her. That's the thing. I feel like whether it's corporate or not, race relations in America has always been about I feel like just having that bridge of understanding, but some people are too scared to understand. So it's better to turn a blind eye. Like, oh, well, they'll figure it out. And I'll just be, I'll be cordial with another black person, but we're probably not going to really be friends. That is hard. It is hard. And I feel like you are probably, since I moved to Texas, out of all the Caucasian people I know or white people I know, I feel like you have been the most consistent. You are someone I consider a mentor. Yeah. It's sad, but unfortunately,
that makes me so sad.
It is true because you sparked something in my heart that was different. You saw Krystal for who Krystal was, not Krystal's skin, and that's rare. It's rare to have, and so therefore, I decided to commit to our friendship and to our sister bond from a Christ level. From I'm able to call you, and you'll know just by my voice what's wrong.
What's wrong?
That's rare. That's rare. So just know it's going to take that. It's going to take being okay with letting your guard down with someone that looks different than you. That's it. And that's where it's going to have to start.
But it's also in letting the guard down.
It's all right. It's going to be emotional.
It's also the approach in which it comes across.
You're right.
Too.
You're right.
So the approach sometimes in corporate America is not the best, the correct way, because they don't know how to approach. They approach based off of what they see on TV. And all of us are not like that. And so sometimes the approach to be able to ask those questions, and you just can't come out and flat and ask those questions, because what I've experienced, whether it's corporate America, whether it's shopping, whether it's doing businesses, whatever, is that I have had the unfortunate pleasure of feeling like they can ask me whatever they want to ask me.
No matter what.
There has not been a level of respect in the question. It has not been a level of boundaries within the question.
Or your understanding.
It's not been a level of a privacy within the question, because they feel like they can ask the question publicly. In a conference setting, in a meeting setting, well, you're not going to get anything from me in that.
Yeah, of course not.
Because you're very private, and that's the one thing that I learned about you when I first talked to you is Cynthia is very private.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm extremely private, and so in that, I really do want you to respect my privacy. I do. I think in that, because I'm going to respect yours too.
Yeah.
But it's the approach, and then the way they ask, because they ask questions that are entitlement questions versus questions that you really want to get to know. Or the environment in which you ask those questions, or the setting, because we can always have a conversation. There's nothing wrong with having a conversation. But what you can't do is stand over my cube and say, well, how did you get your hair like that? You got a smartphone? Then what you need to do is you need to Google and figure it out. So that's the answer you're going to get from me. That's the answer that you're going to get from me.
Instead of, oh my gosh, Cynthia, that is beautiful.
Beautiful style.
Period. Or don't even do it in a setting where everybody's looking, because I can feel, everybody looking, because you also got to take in consideration, most time corporate America, you are the only dot.
Yeah, that's it.
And if you have 2 dots, it ain't two black women.
It's already too much.
It's not 2 black women. So it's you and a Mexican man or an Asian man, or you know what I'm saying. So it's definitely not 2 black women. You're definitely not. So you have to be considerate of your environment. And please, moving forward, I hope anyone that listens to this podcast, do not ask us about our hair publicly and openly. That is disrespectful to us, and we don't like it. I'm being honest. We really don't like it, and that's the truth. We don't. Okay. We don't like it. We don't like it.
You'd be surprised. I had a girlfriend of mine. We were in Bible study, and she had just gotten lemonade braids, right? So her braids come all the way around. But she was like, I just didn't think. I don't know if I can go to work like this. I said, girl, you just got your hair done.
Right.
You better go to work tomorrow.
That shit ain't cheap.
But
sorry,
for real, it really isn't. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
But I said,
and
why?
Beautiful.
But she was like, well, I just know. She was like, I'm the only, and this is, amongst us, I'm the only one. And I'm like, she said, well, maybe I can put it to a bun. Like, you don't realize, I don't know if anyone watching, you guys probably don't realize how much we have to consider before we walk through those doors. Well, maybe it's a little too bold. Like, I had gotten braids last October, and I put them in the crown style, which, like, I mean, it makes you look taller. And so, I mean, I know I looked powerful, but that wasn't even, I just liked it because I wanted to put it up because I was going to the gym so much. It's like, I'm not trying to make a statement. Braids sometimes are for protective purposes, right? But the reaction was just like, whoa, like, it was like, that's too much. Or, and it's crazy that it can be too much. Whereas if someone is to color their hair from red to blonde, it's not a big deal.
Well,
so
that's never been a problem for me. The issue is when I'm interviewing. Okay. Once I get the job, I'm doing whatever I want.
What you want.
I'm doing whatever. I'm doing
whatever. But that speaks highly, though. Think about it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing whatever I want in the hair. Now, interviewing, I'm a little questionable about because how they look at you going in, because you do have those things. You do have to think about that.
But those are real things.
But that's sad.
But that's what I'm about to say. That shouldn't be.
That's so
sad. And that's
sad.
how it happens, but it shouldn't be like that. Yeah.
Because you can't feel comfortable walking into an interview and being your true self.
We cannot be our true self.
No.
If that's what if you're getting to that question, Black women
no way.
And corporate America cannot be our true self, because if we're our true self, then we're called names.
Aggressive.
Yep. Angry. Got an attitude.
I'm called a hoe.
Look, but
I'm called a bitch. I'm called a hoe. Yeah. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. So I mean, we cannot in corporate America be ourselves at all. So we have to learn to put ourselves in boundaries that are submissive, and I hate to use that word, but that would be the correct word, to the standard in which corporate America want us to put it. Now, it's easier if we have male figure bosses than female bosses.
Yeah,
that's true. Female bosses.
Ooh, we're gonna dig into that.
Can we go there? Because when you left me, you understand me? Oh, if only you all knew what us three have experienced together. There was a lady that came through that just really didn't want me there at all. This is my new boss, and when I tell you, I've never been on pins and needles about something ever like this. Not in a workplace. I had wit. I was smart. I knew more than she did. And when she picked up on that, she wanted me out of there ASAP, right? That was one of the things. She wanted me out of there. She was getting rid of what was familiar to me. So I didn't like that. People were leaving me. I didn't want to go. Oh, where you going? So I had too many factors. So she started hiring all these men instead, getting rid of any woman in there. I was next. And I had to be honest. This is the first time I had to speak up, but I was prepared to walk. I was like, because what I was seeing is when you spoke up, word walked out. So I was like, well, here goes my chance. But I was asked the question, what's the issue? So, well, I'm doing all of her reports. What are making my reports late, which is getting me in trouble. But she's telling me if I don't do her reports for her, then I'm out of here. So I'm in a stuck place.
Right.
Here I am, a younger girl from Maryland. She didn't like the fact that I had any type of degree of any type. She really wanted to chomp me down.
You were articulate.
Oh my goodness.
Intelligent.
She couldn't stand it. So she would talk to me in a way that she thought I was used to. So she would
talk to you like a kindergartner?
Yeah. Belittling, and I know you don't really understand. I'm looking at her like, okay, I'm gonna just bite my tongue a little bit more. But that was a very uncomfortable situation. It was just very uncomfortable. I'd never been belittled so much at a young age. Challenged to the point of am I good enough to do this? That is how I was made to feel. Coming from your leadership to her, I was like, this is another ball game.
And when I left, I had to leave because I couldn't handle it from a female boss. White female boss. And I was strong-willed, and she wanted me to go and demote and fire a bunch of people
back to back,
and I wasn't going to do her dirty work. And they were all making numbers. Why do you want them gone? I don't understand. I didn't get it. And it was a 5-hour conference call. And you figured out the day. I walked out of that office and I was like, Jeremy, I can't. I have stayed long because I want to protect my people, and I want to make sure that they're okay, but my soul is being ripped to shreds.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I
knew that
that.
morning. I knew that when you walked in, I said, "This is not going to be a good day."
Yeah.
I knew it. And when she walked out that door, I said, "She gone." I told Krystal,
she told me, I know. She there at her desk. She rolled her little chair out. She not coming back. And I was like, no. And I was young. So I remember.
We have a guest.
Hi. So yes.
Come give hugs.
Hi. Surprise guest. How are you? You're so
Surprise hugs.
I know. He's so big.
Looks so good.
Can you close the door, bud?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to start, I guess?
No, we've already started. You're actually on film.
And so, but the diversity part of it, I was hit with it. I didn't think I was going to experience what you were experiencing or what you were experiencing. I didn't think I was going to. I just thought, oh, well, everybody likes Krystal. This is easy. This is simple. You know?
Sweet.
Who wouldn't like me, right?
Amazing. Kumbaya.
Woo! When I tell you, my first orientation with the person that she didn't like that I was running it. She wanted to run it, but I'm like, but my position is to run it. And I'm like, I could not believe it, but I had to confront her, and no one could do it for me. I had to remember, like, Krystal, there's nobody here to fight this battle but you. You have to do the hard talk. And she looked at me differently from that day forward because she saw, wow, I can't play with this girl. Like, I'm not scaring her at all. But it's because I had to make a claim to myself, Krystal, no matter what, you're still a black girl. You can't change that. Mm-hmm. I'm smart. I may have the numbers. I have all this stuff. But all she sees is this little black girl.
Yep.
That's what I had to accept. So once I accepted that, I said, fine. I'm going to always come with my best. I will serve in excellence, and I will serve her with so much kindness that she can't stand it. Mm-hmm. And it's to the point on her last day, she actually hugged me. I was like, what? What?
But even in that process of you understanding that you were a black woman in that process, you can accept that until God takes you home.
Yes.
But it has nothing to do with how they're going to accept you and how they're going to perceive
I'd let
you
it go.
and what their perception is, because they still have the control of the perception that's being there. And it's not always correct perception, because as you know, as I've gone through my situation and understanding, I'm realizing more and more is that I don't really know at this point if there's anything, I don't really believe in my heart and soul there's anything that I can ever do anymore. And so how do I stay relevant in corporate America at this stage of where I am in my career? Right. Because I cannot do anything anymore about any of those situations. And because I understand even more so, if you intimidated, if you are insecure in your own personal life, if you all that has everything to do with you. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But because you're in management, then you want to control and put the situation on me, and so it affects which direction I go. I can't change me. There's a whole lot of things I can't change. I can't change that I'm black. I can't change that I'm bold. I can't change that I'm powerful. Yeah. I can't change any of that. And I'm not trying to, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to change my standard. I'm not going to do any of that. So where does that leave me in corporate America? And that is where I am in my crossroad at this point in my career. Where does that really leave me? Because I'm not changing. There's nothing for me to change on what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
What I bring to the table is I'm going to make you billions of dollars. That's what I bring to the table.
Hired.
Period. Yes. There's no need. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to joke about it. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to joke about it. Sure. I don't care. I'm going to follow your policies and procedures as you put them in place. I'm going to understand what your standard operation procedure is. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make your organization money. I really would wish you would leave me alone. Just let me come in here and do what I do. But you're not going to do that. I have figured that out. And so what I don't know is, where do I fit in corporate America? Well, where I am. Yeah. I am a godly woman, so therefore I'm going to explain to you exactly where I am with that. Mm-hmm. You know what? I understand where you feel. I understand how you feel. My source doesn't come from that. It comes from God. I get it. I'm not going to argue with you, whatever. But where do I really come from that? Because anytime that I'm up against women in corporate America at this point, I really have to consider if I'm even going to take the opportunity. Because it's definitely going to come at some point.
They're just not going to be able to handle you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I am.
That's, and to say, wow, that is a lot of where I'm at right now. I'm in the middle of trying to choose which direction I need to go in a new job. Yes. Because at the end of the day, even though I worked for a great company, the most magical place on earth to work, at the end, it was the bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line, and they did mass layoff. At that moment in time, no matter how much they preach about culture, no matter how much they preach about taking care of your people, that moment, that time, even though I made my numbers, I was a great employee, I did everything ethically and honestly, I was still a number. I was still money. Yeah. And I often struggle with my competing and my competition and my bodybuilding, and then also now my book that has a lot of brutally honest things that I have put myself through and I have gone through myself, and I struggled with, is this company going to accept this?
Oh,
wow.
And that's sad. That's really sad, because there's been a couple of times where I found out I wasn't hired because I was a bikini model.
Mm-hmm. I could believe that.
Wow.
I could believe that.
So they didn't think you had what it took.
Yeah. They thought I would be a distraction. And that all I was looks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh
wow.
yeah.
For sure.
And
wow.
I feel, and this is what I talked to my mom about, and I was like, I feel like my dyslexia, my learning disability, allowed me to struggle so much that it opened me up to try to understand other people's struggles.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes.
Look at God.
That's beautiful.
Because I think I would have been an asshole.
Yeah.
And my parents wouldn't have let me, but I could have been.
Okay. Got you.
I could have been. Sure. And at some point in time in my life, I kind of was.
Okay. Okay.
Because I got too big for my britches.
I got you. You was cute.
Oh.
You was cute.
So basic.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding. No. But I feel like that struggle and that being made fun of and being called stupid and being called retarded and being called all kinds of names because of that struggle I had in school really humbled me to go, okay, I've got to learn
the struggles
of others. Yeah. And until I do that, there's no way that I'm going to be a great leader. And that's what Aaron taught me.
Yes. Right. You got to know your people.
And then a good friend. So that leads me to another one, is we talked about that dedication of, okay, if I accept her in the workforce, then I'm going to have to like hang with her outside. So I asked y'all a kind of a question at the beginning of this, is how much does that diversity in the workplace transfer over into diversity in your personal life? If you don't have diversity in your personal life, then how can you expect someone to be confident and diverse in the workplace, especially if they're a leader?
Then you don't have it. So then you're doing exactly what the man at 1600 Avenue lives at right now. It's fake news. It's fake relationships.
Right, fake relationships.
So it's not honest.
Right.
So you don't have anyone crossing over to your address.
Right.
You're not going to their address and they're not coming to yours. And I say that, and I don't only say that in this podcast, but that is truly a statement that I use all the time. You have nothing to worry about. You're not coming to my home, and I'm not going to yours. Even if you invite me, I'm not going. That's exactly what I tell them. Right. They're not going to invite me. They don't want that. So they don't have the diversity like you and I, where we call and check each other, or if I'm doing something, women's conference, you're there. If you got something going on, I'm supporting you because it's the friendship or whatever. They don't have diverse friendships among, so they don't really get to know and don't really get to understand. And so what they're going by is fake news. They're going by what they see on television. They're going by maybe what they run into at a few opportunities, or they've asked some questions, or they read something, or they looked on Facebook. And so unfortunately they've put all of us in a box. And we don't always operate like that. All of us are different, and we're different cultures, and so they don't understand the culture, and they're not trying to get to understand the culture because they don't have it in their personal life. Because when you open the door, Pandora's box, for your personal life, then you have to get personal. You have to share who you really are. And if you really share who you really are, then you're dealing with some truth. And then you're dealing with some honesty. And that is where the line really starts.
Because once you cross there, you have to be authentically who you are.
That's there. Yeah.
But that's where I feel like the divide begins, right there. Like I said, most of the times they'll get just enough close at the work party. You know, that's good. Oh yeah, I did my best today. I talked to a black girl. I talked to the black guy over there. I'm good. I'm gonna go home. Gotta go. Yeah, I'm good to go. Or okay, we all went to the game. We all went to happy hour after work. Okay, but getting into how your kids doing, or hey, you know, do you need? I'm moving. I have some boxes. Getting to that intimate
we have couch.
Changed my whole world. She's the reason I had my first couch in my first apartment. She got my ottoman. Like I'm telling you, they became my big sisters. I had another big sister here, my actual sister. But to have these two outside women who did not know me yet, willing to get to know me, inviting me to your home. You met my ex at the time. It was so much you were invested in. You didn't have to.
But that,
right. Well, I thank you. I thank you both. You got me out. Brought me a long way. But no, I just didn't. I mean, even my dad was astonished. I was like, yeah, she let me buy her couch. He was like, wait, what? Your boss? Like, I'm like, yeah, but it's not even just that anymore. She's more than that. Like, she's not just my boss. She's someone I look up to. But it's because you took the time to be authentic with me, little girl from Beaumont. You let me know who you were. So guess what? That meant, okay, I can be who I am, and I can trust that. Yeah. That's all. And Cynthia, you're right. The thing is, when people are pushed to being honest, people don't like that. No, because if you're going to be honest, I mean, we're going to hear some things that we don't want to hear.
And that means you got to let you...
Truth hurts.
Truth hurts. I think it's not the authenticity. I think it's truly being vulnerable.
That's it.
Yeah. And I think because even people have a hard time being vulnerable with God and Jesus. And He knows all
He already knows everything. Yes.
But He's waiting on that. And I think that's what I know that's what we're missing. There's a couple of TED Talks out there about vulnerability and being authentic.
For sure it is.
And how
Renee, how she has a great one, her book, Dare to be Great. I mean, you know, but you have to be honest in that. And so most people, and if you think about what vulnerability means, or you think about how you grew up, you know, to be vulnerable, they say it's a sign of weakness, but really vulnerability is a sign of strength because it shows, you know, the truth. It shows your true self. It gives your true feeling. Wow. And it's like being able to understand what your emotional tank is. Because if your love tank is empty and your emotional tank is empty, then you can't let anybody else in. And so you're afraid to be vulnerable and be honest. How many of us walk around here, or how many people know, and our family, friends, that they're not even honest with themselves? And so until you can truly look yourself in the mirror and really be honest with you, then you cannot move forward in the workplace. You can't move forward, you know, going over the diversity. And there's just so many questions you don't want to ask. And do you really want to know the answer? That's the biggest question. That's the bigger question. Do you really want to know the answer? Are you ready? Are you ready to handle the answer? Do you really want to know why diversity is where it is? Do you really want to know? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, I am a racist? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, I don't like black women and I don't understand them? Can you look yourself in the mirror and say, I think that I'm better than them? You know what I'm saying? I think I have entitlement.
And then unpacking that. Why do you think you're better, though?
Yeah.
What is it that you believe makes you or sets you apart? Because we're both women.
Or have the situation like the old boss that you and I were talking about. And then I just had a coworker walk up to me and say this. You do know that I have children that are biracial. No, I don't know that.
Why would we know?
Why would I know? I don't even know
act like I know you.
You act like I'm your friend.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
What does that have to do with anything?
You know, but your reasoning for telling me that is 3 reasons. One, you want to say you want to prove to me that you can have my man. One. That's one. That's the first thing. No, that's real. Let's keep it real.
Come on,
by the way, real Cynthia's man.
It's awesome. I can't say how he's like uncle full of gas, but he's like
the second one is that you letting me know that I'm not as strong as a woman that I am because you can cross over and have the black man as well as the white man. That's 2, 3. And then you want to be able to say, now, I understand you because I
have a black man. Yeah.
And you don't understand. You don't understand what you don't even understand you as a woman, whatever color you are. Before you can even try to say that you can understand me as a black woman, you will never understand being a black woman until you become one. Now you may have like Kelly. Kelly understands the love. She understands the struggle we go through. She understands. She knows that her heart is not there. She knows that she doesn't operate like that. She can't speak for someone who's her friend that doesn't feel the same way that she feels about black women. She can't speak for them. No. She look at them. She try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
You
she
feel what?
But to overall have that understanding, no, she doesn't. She does understand women. Period. And because of that, then she has a broader knowledge and a broader base.
And she can make friends and keep them because of the bond.
Absolutely.
She's not afraid to have.
There you go.
And that goes back to you have learned the woman you are. Yeah. There's no reason to be insecure.
I'm still learning.
If anything, you want to learn. You have the willingness to have an open mind and to figure out why her strength is amazing, why her strength is beautiful to you, instead of intimidating.
Right.
You know? Cynthia has always taught me, I'm just who I am. It's what she always said. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. That was the first thing when I first met Miss Cynthia, she knew I could rock with her because I liked that. It wasn't like, oh, I can't talk to Miss Cynthia because she's gonna figure me out. No, I'm like, oh, figure me out because I'm still trying to figure me out too. But I'm okay with learning. Right. And so both of you have that aspect that I feel like most women are afraid of because it means you gotta start figuring out who you are. And so I think a lot of this comes from knowing who you are as a woman.
And asking the hard questions like that.
And asking the hard questions and being ready for the answer.
Be ready for the answer. Yep.
And then receiving that answer.
Processing it.
And then doing something about it.
Boom.
That's good.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't just lock it away in your Louis Vuitton purse.
That's true. With your
and shut it down.
Right.
Whatever. Don't.
That's the hard part.
Do something with it.
What are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, that's true.
And that is the biggest reason why I wanted this podcast and I wanted this conversation with the both of you because I felt like you two would be honest.
You're right, for sure.
And I am ready to ask the questions and I'm ready to get the answers, as hurtful as they may be.
Sure.
Because it saddens me to think that I would be interviewing, and if I didn't know you, Cynthia, you would walk in and the first thing you would think is, I can't be my authentic self because this is a white woman.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
Yeah.
That you couldn't walk in as beautiful as you look right now, as gorgeous as your hair looks. I mean, you look like a queen sitting on a throne right now. I mean, I'm telling you, I would go, wow.
Right. Thank you.
Wow, this woman has got her shit together. Yeah. She is put together. I want to learn more. That makes me so sad. And so I feel like when I'm in Walmart and I feel like when I'm at Target or I'm on the road or I'm walking on a sidewalk and I see an African American man and I can see it in their face like, this white woman, is she going to be scared? I'm like, hey, how are you? And he's like, okay. I don't move to the other side of the road. I walk into that elevator. How are you? Happy Friday. What's going on? Because I want them to know that we're not all that way.
Yes. But you're a rare breed.
You're rare.
I know.
You've been rare since the moment we met you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then I'm raising my baby.
And you're raising a son that's beautiful to me because he looks at me as another awesome woman.
Yeah.
Not another awesome black
Krystal, my friend who got my couch.
Yeah, that's like, how's it going? That's all you remember. And that's all I agree with it. But that's right. And that's my thing. I am a different kind of black girl. But I used to hide that because, okay, I'm not black enough, but then they say, okay, but then you're too black. So I had that weird world coming from Maryland, which is a very liberal place. So, I mean, I had friends of all types of colors, but as I got older, people were kind of pulling me from that. Like, Krystal, you're getting called an Oreo. Like, people are talking about you because you like theater. You're not normal. Like, you need to get it together. So I used to really struggle with, okay, but I like NSYNC. But okay, I'll listen to New Edition, whatever you want me to do. But I had to stop that because I'm like, Krystal, your identity is who you are. You are all these different things, and if they don't like you for that, oh well, they're missing out on something.
They
fun.
are.
So I had to start accepting that too. So it's like you said, it's about showing you that I'm not just like all the others, right? We had another coworker around. She's great lady. She was my other white counterpart, my other buddy. And I remember her saying this to me, "You're a different black girl." I remember that. And at first I was like, should I be offended? Because I was like, what does that mean? But she was the first coworker. This is after you had gone. She was the first coworker that really was not afraid to ask me the questions because she genuinely liked me.
Oh, okay.
This is
okay.
Jenny. Yes.
Okay.
She genuinely
Jenny.
Jenny.
I remember Jenny.
She was amazing. So she genuinely wanted to be my friend. And she wouldn't let me get awkward about it. She would call, "Hey, it's Friday. What you doing? I'm coming to get you." And I'm like, oh, okay. But it was just different for me. And I was like, what is this relationship I created with this young lady? But man, as time went, she really began to be just my friend, not my white friend.
Right.
She was my girl. This is who I hung with.
Right.
She was about a couple years older than me, so I'm watching her go through things. She let me in her life, but it was because she wasn't afraid.
Right.
And she was learning who she was as a woman.
Right.
And she allowed me into that place. So it's stuff like that where I had to let her ask those uncomfortable questions. But then I let her know the truth. Like, I may be different, but really and truly, I'm just like you, actually.
Right.
Like, we have a lot of the same taste, actually. You know what I mean?
And that's even more so that as women, that we're more alike than not.
we know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We have the same
really
feelings.
are. We have the same feelings.
Yep.
We have the same issues among each other.
Yes.
You know, but if we need to have the conversations, we need to be open to have the conversation, and then be open to be honest about the conversation, because there's so much fake people going out
too
here.
many.
Fake news. You know, everything is just not lining up, and so you have to line up with the truth of who you are. Stand in it. Stand in the standards that you set, and be okay with that. Because if you keep living this beautiful life that we live, that God has given us, and which is so amazing, you're going to change.
Yeah.
As you grow, as you go through the journey, you're not gonna stay the same, and you don't want to stay the same. You want to be able to grow and to get into the place where you welcome in. And when you see a sister or a friend or a girlfriend that struggle with what you struggle with, that is when you should step in and say, "Girlfriend, I've been there." And let me tell you, my thought process was just like this. I heard it just like this. But if you just keep moving and moving in the Word of God and allowing Him to use you and allowing me to give, let's knock out some of the pain. Because one of the things that I share with my daughters all the time is, I cannot protect you from life. But what I can do is I wear a size 7. There's no need for you to put your foot in the same brick wall in the same size that I wore, because you're gonna make your own bricks,
right?
Because that's what life is. That one wears 7.5 and the other one wears the 8. You're gonna put that, but there's no need. Excuse me, for you to put your foot in the 7. There's just no need. No need, because I'm open. I'm an open book. I'm honest. I'm gonna tell you. Never been a perfect mother. First of all, I've never been a perfect woman.
Right.
So if I've never been a perfect woman, or never been a perfect person, I can never be a perfect mother.
Right.
Because all of that is one and the same.
That's right.
And so if you really get to know, and I used to tell them all the time, get to know Cynthia first, and then getting to know Mom is going to be so much easier. Totally so much easier. Because I've been Cynthia.
Powerful.
Do you know how many conversations
That's powerful.
moms don't have with their kids like that?
Yeah.
That my son knows me. He knows me.
Yeah.
And he's so comfortable with our relationship. There are conversations that we have that he and I are going to do a podcast about.
Oh, for sure.
Which is going to be pretty interesting.
I can't wait to hear that.
But you're right.
Yeah.
But none of us open
Open up. And
to
so
our
it still goes back to that in every aspect. Open up in our relationship, open in our friendships, open up in diversity, and be able to share. Because if I see you as a friend, going down a road that doesn't need to be, I should be able to
share with you.
You did.
With that.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did.
Y'all both know. Y'all helped me out of a whole scary situation.
To be able to able to share that. But that's what those relations come from, and that is. Like you said, being able to do something different and not holding it and not changing it. Unfortunately, I don't know what we can do about corporate America.
Yeah.
I don't know what we can do about the diversity. I don't know.
It's hard to break down those walls.
I don't know that they're willing to listen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they want to listen. I don't know. And you know, we got the Me Too issue that's come out. You know, the women. You know, women are getting paid less than men. You know, I mean, that's a whole nother podcast. I don't know that in corporate America, you know, because so much has changed. You know, and I stand in my pulpit, you know, my church members I tell them, say, Lord, y'all help me pray. I really have to pray for the diversity that goes on in my job or that I see, because for me, it is beyond corporate America. It is everywhere. If I walk up in Neiman's.
Oh, yes.
I go to the good old
Your
Kroger's.
Good old Kroger's.
Yes.
I go to the great old Walmart.
Starbucks.
You know, I go to, and you know,
Well,
you know.
that's
So
your place.
if I go to Starbucks, so, and I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
You know, I check my, you know, I check my mannerism. I do. I don't know what that's about.
Interesting.
I don't know what that's about. I don't. I really don't. I really don't. And you visit my hometown, so can you,
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Now,
I used to
Chi-town?
think it was a Chicago
My first
thing.
time going to Chi-town. Now, you would think by now I would have been, but God just made me wait. And I get why. So I get there, and it was an energy like I hadn't felt since I was home. Okay? Back home, I took it for granted. I didn't think about it as a pride thing at all. But when I got to Chicago, I was like, there's an energy here that you just don't see everywhere.
Same thing in Atlanta.
Yeah. It's beautiful though. And it wasn't arrogance or anything. It was just they know who they are. Not even being, I'm from Chi-Town, just in general. They know who they are as a people, as a culture. And it's vibrant and you feel it. And I came back empowered.
Right.
I was like, okay, I can do this thing called life in Dallas.
Yeah.
You know, and so
I don't know that you can't. I mean,
but
you can't.
I'll tell you what. Now, and this is going to make the Dallas folk a little upset, but people will ask me, like new breeds, people who are just coming here, so how do you get around here? I said, you have to make it your own. You're not going to get a Dallas site that's going to show you around. No. I said, all my friends, I have one that's from here, technically. That's by technicality. She's really from Louisiana. She don't like when I say that.
That's why.
But she is.
That's why.
She
that's
really,
where my whole
and that's why I told her, I said,
Louisiana.
you're not a Dallas person. Oh, yes, I am. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
All of my friends, I have 10 alone. 2 from New York, 1 from NC, North Carolina, the other Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana.
Oh, yes.
None of them are from Dallas because the Dallas women, when I moved here, this is black women. Now that's a whole other podcast.
Girl.
The issues you face with your own, that's even harder. I came here thinking I was going to be embraced. If anything, I was looked at like an insect. Like, what are you?
Oh,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the nose was all the way up with me. I don't know what it was. I was like, okay. So no one came to me and put their armor. No. Yeah. It was like we can't. I don't know. Like you're too forward. Like,
but that's the Southern.
That's how we're.
So it doesn't matter if it's a white woman or a black woman. I got that same thing from both Dallas cultures.
In my first job at DeVry University, 2 weeks into the role, it was getting around that I had slept with the directors to get the job that I got.
Wow.
And that was spread around women.
Yeah. But you know that, I mean, because me and Kelly go back in the educational role. Then. The educational industry when we first started was strictly men. I mean, it was a dominant men industry. And so very few women were allowed in that. And so it was either one, you know, and in my case, so I filled the void for both sectors. I was the minority woman, and on top of that, so they was like, "Oh, we're done. We shut this down."
Right?
You know, like
we got it both.
We covered both, so we're good. Yeah. So if Texas workforce come in here, she qualifies for both
everything.
We're good.
Across the board, we're good. You know, we good. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, Kelly. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, so I'm in a different ball game altogether.
Oh yeah,
my whole office is women. And we're over the quota. My whole office, I have 2 black women and 1 Latina.
Yeah, but we changed. Oh yeah. There's no way.
The minority is the white girl. It's crazy.
There's no way.
But she loves it. She's like, I love you guys. Like, you know, and it works. They allow me to create a team. That it wasn't. I was looking for these things. I looked for who was going to have integrity, heart, and who's genuine. That's all I was looking for.
That's it.
They keep wanting to know what the secret is. That's what it is.
That's the secret.
I just let it out. There it is.
And then if you get someone like Cynthia, leave her alone and let her make money.
You gonna give me 10 apps in one day? I already know you will. I got you. What kind of coffee you want today, right? That's what I learned about
Starbucks.
Yes,
every day.
I get you a gift card so you can get your own. But I've learned a lot from both of you ladies about just letting myself be who I am, but maintaining my professional composure, but also not letting anyone run me. That's what I had to learn. No matter what color they were, I had to remember, Krystal, you earned this stuff. You worked for it. Don't let anybody, confuse you on that. You worked to be here. So don't let someone run you out. That's what I had to learn from you both. That's what I had to learn from you both.
That's powerful.
But the moment they know you figured out the game, that's when they start. It's a different ball game. Yeah, it's a different ball game.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
I have finally figured out the ball game now that I 41 years old, going into 42 in January. I figured out the ball game here in Dallas, and it is let's just call it a man's world.
Yep.
It's going golfing, going to the cigar lounge, hanging out, going to God knows where else. I don't even want to.
It's 3-pointers when you say that here in Dallas. It's a man world. It's money.
That's it.
And not just my old money.
Old money.
Old money.
Old money.
You didn't even earn it yourself. You just got it inherited.
It's money.
Just given to you.
And don't ask no questions.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't ask any questions.
Don't ask no questions. So that works for me, though. It really does. It really does. And let me tell you how it works for me. The reason why it works for me is this. I don't really like you anyway, so I ain't got to ask you no questions. That worked for me.
Cut that off.
Okay.
Yep.
2, as long as I'm making you money, then I'm making me money. So 3, and you can't disrespect me. You can't ask me nothing for the cootie cat, and I ain't gonna ask you nothing. I
was waiting for it.
I'm not gonna play the game. I'm not gonna play the game.
I'm not gonna play that.
Because if it's not a mandatory meeting outside of this corporation or job, I'm not going anywhere. So I don't have to see you act a fool and belittle yourself.
Yeah.
So then belittle yourself comes with the alcohol. So I'm never going to happy hour. You don't have to worry about that. I'm never gonna go to your little outings.
Yeah.
Never gonna do that. The only way that I'm participating is that you better make it mandatory.
Yeah.
And it better come from corporate. Mandatory. Because if it doesn't come from corporate mandatory, I ain't participating.
Yeah.
And so therefore I don't know what happens after 5.
Yeah.
And when they
you show up at 8 and okay, y'all went out. Oh, that's nice. Headset on.
That's it.
Because I don't want to hear about it.
That's it. I don't even need to know.
And I learned that I had to start networking, and I have it scheduled to where I walk in about 15-20 minutes before happy hour starts or whatever. Like, because I've had, with my job, business development, I had to network. I had to get out there. I had to get the name out. I had to connect. Yeah. But I would get there about 10-15 minutes before the actual happy hour would start. People would start rolling in. I'd make my contacts. And about an hour in, which is usually about 2 to 3 drinks in, I go and get my ticket to get my ride, and they bring it up to me. I tip the valet, and I'm out. Yeah. And they all ask, why do you leave so early? It was like, because there's no business talking after 3 drinks.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You're not talking about anything of substance at that point anyway.
You are slurring your words.
Yeah, you're not making any sense.
Yeah. And I'm not going to give you an opportunity to make me feel demeaning, and I'm not
uncomfortable.
Or uncomfortable. Yeah. Or my 240-pound, 6'1" husband.
There you go.
Come and take care of business too.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put myself in that kind of situation. Yeah. So yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Or you get the bigger question of this. So when you don't put yourself in that question, so when you say, I don't drink.
That one too.
That always gets everybody.
So then they say, so do you have a drinking problem or you're alcoholic?
Right.
Why do I
have to have a problem?
Why do I have to be an alcoholic or go to AA? Now I respect that. You know what I'm saying? The 12-step program, it works. Hey, you know, my family's been through it. I get it. But why does that have to be me? Why does it cannot be that I just do not choose to drink? And even if I did choose to drink, maybe I don't choose to drink with you.
With you.
Boom.
Because it's not the right environment. And I know what alcohol does, and I'm mature enough to understand that. But why do I have to have a problem?
Right.
And I don't want to be in that. You know, my pastor, God love him, he told me a long time ago, don't fellowship with everybody.
You don't have to.
Don't break bread share with everybody. I mean, I ain't eating with you and I ain't drinking
and
with
you. don't have to. They're nowhere in the job description.
There you go.
And that's to go have the alcoholic
when
beverage.
I go to our mandatory events, they're always because you always give your tickets away.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, because I watch half of y'all.
Turning
up for no reason, then you're mad later.
The next day.
When the pictures come out.
Oh, the pictures.
Or you're less respected the next day.
Yes, and they forget. And I'm like, you do know that is your CEO. Like, he sees everything. So why? Why would you? I don't care if they're offering. It is, here you go. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, I go for the accolades. I hear the great speech.
Yep.
And it was good to see you.
And it was good to see you.
Good night.
Y'all look cute.
Yes.
Snap, snap.
Yes, I'm going to go and go home. Thank you. You know, but I learned that too, just watching you all, honestly. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. I think also
plus I have to drive home.
You got a long drive.
Most of my networking stuff is in Dallas or Fort Worth.
You got a long drive. Well, I put yourself at risk and not being at work the next day because you got an accident.
Right.
Yeah. Not unless you're going to leave your car and
Uber, but it ain't even that deep.
It's not even that deep.
Why pay that much?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I totally understand it, but because Dallas is so big. But still, even with that situation, even when they provide, I mean, there's just no reason for us to get. And then when you're talking about the professional environment, even if it goes to that, I always want to be conscious.
Yes.
Of everything.
You want to see who's really there. Yeah, because you get to see the true colors.
There you go. You definitely do get
because then the guard is really let down and they allow out what they really think.
All the time. They really feel it. And then what's amazing is that after those conventions or whatever, and you can tell the ones that are worried. Or have some concern, let's use that word, because they'll come to work the next day or next couple of days. So was I okay at the convention or whatever?
You see, it's nice when you don't have to ask that question.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it?
3 days later, you can still get up with joy in your heart. I ain't do nothing because I know where I was.
It's so beautiful.
I can look all y'all straight in the face.
And I can tell you, I went home to my bed.
Or you catch him at the coffee machine. So how was I doing the coffee? Excuse me.
I don't even know, but I left.
I left after an hour.
Yeah, hope you made it home.
Yeah.
You know.
Or you have, or what's even better than that is that you have good old HR coming down.
That's always fun to see.
Calling certain people in for the investigation. Well, you guys had an outing.
I wasn't there.
We heard what happened.
And they skipped over your desk because you weren't there. Like, I'm sorry, you don't have to be in this meeting. Oh, okay, cool.
But that's sad because I also feel like us, minority women and minorities feel like they have to go and put themselves in those types of situations to be able to play the game, to be accepted.
I've watched that too. See, I've watched it both extremes.
Right.
I've watched people who look exactly like me as far as being a black woman who's trying to gain that professional title or whatever they're looking for. And I'm watching them. I'm like, this is not how you get there. Like, just do the work. Like, I mean, to the point where over networking, like overly doing it. I'm just like, oh, this is embarrassing.
But there's a point too that in your career when you're younger, I felt like I had to attend.
Right.
Yeah.
It was only when I became much more confident in corporate America and much more confident in the stand that I was taking that I wasn't going to go anymore.
Because what do you say? Women lie, men lie, but numbers don't lie.
Yeah, exactly. So it is when I got a point. So early on in my career, Krystal, even I didn't want to go. Even though I went through everything that Kelly explained, I felt like if I didn't go, that I was looked at as an outcast. So I would go just so I didn't have that cloud over. Because no matter what, and it's unfortunately, and I say this all the time, damn if you do it, damn if you don't. Because either way, as a minority, diversity in corporate America, you're never going to get to the sweet spot. And I just want to get to a sweet spot at this point. And I don't, and I realized that that's not going to be. So in my career, I went anyway. But now, coming to that point, I'm not going. The only way I'm going, and I ask, I'm quick to say, is it mandatory? Oh, mandatory, I ain't going to be there. I walk away quick. That's all. Because if it's not, then, and if it's mandatory, I got to go. So I suffered through that, like you said, the hour and a half. When they get to the second drink or whatever, you're done here. But I felt like I had to, and so that's probably what you see in those young
she was
women.
younger, So I think she thought, but even so, I was like, let's come here. Like,
because even if you
don't have to have the shot.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to have
get
the
some
shot.
wine.
Yeah.
And sip it slowly.
And two, and you may go home and you may ask your parents or you may ask your mentor, should I go? Should I not go? Because
think it through first.
Oh yeah, there's so many questions that you ask, or you have to ask someone to wonder, because it's just an uncomfortable situation.
I try to stay away from the networking events that are housed at hotel bars.
Okay. That makes
because
sense.
There are a few in Dallas, like that one of them's held at the Ritz. It's like they call it the last Tuesday or something, and I have gone twice just to see, and you just get that feeling. It's like I don't need to be here anymore. I'm out. You know, I'm not going to waste my time being away from my family, being away from my husband and my kiddo to come here to a bar that's inside of a hotel.
Okay.
That is supposed to be for networking.
It's suggestive.
Yeah, and so there are other networking events. So that's just trial and error too. It's just finding that group that's going to accept you, it's going to allow you in, that's going to support you, that's going to put you in front of the right people, and then those people are going to do the same thing. Absolutely. And that just trial and error.
Right.
Or that is being so strong in your numbers and who you are as an employee that should show for itself. But unfortunately, that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, so damned if you do, damned if you don't. But you've got to find your own happy place, Krystal.
There you go.
Yeah.
And your own happy medium of what that looks like. What's that networking, that climbing up the ladder, how that works for you.
Absolutely.
And I found that sweet spot. Go for an hour.
Yeah.
When that third drink comes out,
you're
I'm
good
out.
to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm out. And I'm walking around with my bottle of water or my little water with my lemon in it.
They don't realize.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a
this
lot.
has been a lot.
Yeah. We unpacked a lot.
We did unpack.
I
feel like we need another one.
Yeah. Round 2. Yes.
But I want to thank you ladies so much. It has been so amazing knowing you for these last 10 years. And I can't wait for the next 10.
Yes, ma'am.
To watch your grandbabies grow. Watch you grow in the church and being a pastor.
Absolutely.
At some point, I'm going to be in town when you're on the pulpit again.
I know. Okay.
To watch you grow into, I know, the woman and the leader that you are going to be. It's going to be fantastic.
Amen. I agree.
And
yes,
that's the fun thing, is being able to be in people's lives, help them, and then sit back and watch the amazing stuff unfold.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's the cool thing.
It is.
So I love you. You're my
I
hero.
love you too.
So, thank you so much for tuning into my podcast, Be the Hero and Rescue Yourself with Kelly Fullman. If you enjoyed listening to my podcast or watching this YouTube video, please follow or subscribe to my channel and walk with me through my journey of celebrating my very own heroes and an opportunity to learn the valuable lessons they taught me over the years, which allowed me to gain the courage to wear my very own cape and be the hero of my life. You can also follow me on Instagram at K Fullman, that's KFUHLMAN, at Facebook, /K Fullman1, or on LinkedIn, Kelly Fullman MBA. Also, please leave your comments below, because I see feedback as a gift, and it will guide me on how to help you gain the courage you need to rescue yourself. Be sweet, y'all. Thanks.